Mm, 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 mm. Yes, y'all. I just got back from New Orleans. I'm rocking the jazz gafas, as we say. I'll take them off. Yes. Thank you guys. Sorry, I've been gone for a few days, but I did have some videos come out, but I am back and I'm ready to attack these drones, y'all. What do we say? Because that's all I heard while I was gone. Drones, drones, drones. Patrick, I hope you're going to New Jersey to check out the drones. No, I did not. I did not. I had other plans. But of course, the one time I decided to take a little mini vacation, the whole world falls apart. So regardless, we are going to be jumping into a lot about the drones in this live stream because I was trying to figure out a video and I just figured, God, there's just so much happening right now. I figured let's go live and we'll talk about it all. First, I want to say shout out to all the vetters out there watching and, of course, to the mods. Thank you guys so much for running the live chat and for kind of running things while I was gone as well in the Discord. But look, the big story right now is kind of this whole like, okay, this sort of like, you know, lost radioactive material that potentially these drones are looking for, right? That we're out looking for. These are military drones, US, they're out looking for, nuclear warfare, right? Maybe something. It's like, but that story is quickly getting, shot down, if you will. But we'll dive into that deeper. I've got a bunch of different stuff for us to look at and kind of comment on and just go that way, really. So, all right, first thing I'm going to do, because this just happened, Donald Trump has weighed in on the drones. He was asked about it. So I thought we would just first jump to that and then kind of work our way through here. So let me bring this up. Gosh, guys, I feel like I'm out of it. I feel like, it's been a minute. Like, I don't know what to do here. Okay, so we got we got Trump here. And all right, so again, so he's being asked. This volume's up. Okay, so he's being asked about the drones.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should, because the people are really, I mean, they happen to be over Bedminster. Want to know the truth. They're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
Have you received an intelligence briefing on the drones?
I don't want to comment on that.
Have you been?
Do you have any reason to think they're?
The government knows what is.
Well, he's clearly received an intelligence briefing on the drones, right? I just want to comment on that. So it sounds like Donald Trump is trying to ease things by just saying the government knows what's going on. They just haven't told us just yet. And if it was a foreign entity, i.e., like China, Russia, right, another foreign power or government, they would be blasting that out, right? Like, yep, that's who it is. They're attacking us, whatever. So that's interesting. And again, we can't forget that. What about the drones in the UK? Are these separate incidents? Are they connected, right? And there's, I think, over 8 states or maybe even more that have reported, right, sightings. So is this all connected? Or are we looking at different answers, right? Different explanations. I think it's definitely a bunch of different explanations. Right. Now, maybe the truth is one thing, but this event, this drone event that has occurred for weeks now is made up of multiple explanations. Let's be real. Right. You've got misidentifications. You've got actual sightings. You've got people just kind of jumping in on it. It's just a lot of different things going on. do we have military drones out there too? I can't imagine we do not. Right. I can't imagine we do not. I don't know. It's just very strange, right? Just raw emotion to this. It's just very strange. You know what I mean? Something is clearly going on. Something. Are they hiding UAP? Right. That's actually a theory in the UFO community that I've heard very little of. Right. Which is interesting. It's interesting that the UFO community is so caught up in these drones. Right. Why? If it's not alien or NHI related, why do people in the UFO community care about the drones? It's interesting. Because look, all right, let's get into another clip here. But real quick, I just want to make an announcement. Today is Monday, December 16th. The program, which is James Fox's documentary, right? James Fox from Moment of Contact, The Phenomena, Out of the Blue, right? Very famous UFO filmmaker, has his brand new documentary he's been working on for a couple of years out today. Nobody's really talking about it because the drones are taking up the whole conversation in the UFO community. I also saw some news about Eric Davis and how put off and you know, David Grush and connecting that with Stephen Greer. Again, a lot of things that people just aren't talking about, and they're focused on these drones. It's just so interesting, to be honest with you. But look, let's so please check out the program. I did watch it. I guess I can get into my review of it, you know, later on. I've got some news. So, but let's wait. When I do Q&A later, we'll get back to that. All right, let me bring up this again. All right, so Jesse Michaels tweeted out, who's a YouTuber. Well, okay, that's so basically there's this report going around, right? Saying that basically there was some radioactive material lost in New Jersey, right? Okay, that is true. But as always, people are spinning it to be more than it actually is. So this is what Jesse tweets out. You know, we're in weird territory when a nuclear threat is the psyop. This loose nuke narrative is fake. Loose nuke. I love it. It's a clean story, but whatever is actually happening is probably weirder and less simple. Many of the fixed-wing drones with red and green lights are likely man-made. Hang on. All right, let's look at this here. All right, I'll go back up to Jesse's comment, but real quick, let me stay on this radioactive material. So, confirm report that less than Cat 3 radioactive material is missing from New Jersey. So they're basically people are trying to pump it up like it's more. It's literally like a little. Oh, here you can see. This post is intentionally misleading, and the user is purposely spreading fear to boost engagement. Wow. The report does not mention possibly shielded Cat 4. That is true. I read the report. I read a couple articles about it and looked into it. They're totally misleading on it. The missing material here is G868 pin source, which is a small pin used to calibrate a PET scanner in hospitals. Okay, so it was in a shipping container that was damaged. They found it to be empty, but it's not like this big thing, right? Yes, could it cause some issues? Yes, but not what people are making this out to be. Like there's some loose, you know, like sum of all fears, right? Like there's something out there, we got to get it, and that's what the military. It's like that is, from what I can tell, that is not happening. So rest assured, I'm not here to fearmonger. I'm not here to make you scared. I'm not here to, you know, promote fear and that. Let's just talk about the truth. What's really happening, right? Because clearly there is some very weird things that we should be alarmed about. But let's not get alarmed about every little thing that's coming out. All right, let's stay sensible here, y'all. All right, let's get back to Jesse's comment because it is interesting. I do want to get back to it. All right. So many of the fixed-wing drones with red and green lights are likely man-made. orbs and other UAVs around sensitive nuclear sites and Air Force bases across the United States. That sounds remarkably like the 167 historical cases of on-record witnesses, stand-up employees of nuclear bases who are beyond reproach. That's an interesting term to use, Jesse, beyond reproach. Documented by Robert Hastings in his great book, UFOs and Nukes. These flying objects often shut down our most advanced weaponry. Vandenberg, 64, Malmstrom, 67, Faye Warren, 2010. If any true UFOs are here, it would make complete sense that you'd get a mix of human drones alongside them. What's the prosaic explanation for these non-fixed wing orbs and more exotic-looking, impossible to fend off high electromagnetism drones flying with impunity around our sensitive military installations, high-powered lasers, plasma balls, classified American tech that we're using to red team or troll our most intensely locked down military sites, and that's somehow also happening all around the world. Again, because I think that is what makes it interesting, right? These UK drone sightings too, right? Like all of it. But as we'll go through here today, okay, stay with me. I've got more to sort of unpack some of these different theories, right, about what's happening with the drones. So one theory with the drones is this nuclear, sort of theory. Okay. I clearly think what you want. Okay. Think for yourself. But, in my opinion, that story is cannot be confirmed at all. Okay. And some of the evidence that people are pushing for it is they're purposely being misleading about it. Right. And as you'll see, as we go through today, you'll see a lot of information like that is very, very misleading. And I think on a regular basis, that may be okay. But when we're talking something so sensitive and alarming, and that's not the time, right, for that kind of action. Real people can get hurt. People can start trying to shoot at these things in the sky. That is not a good idea, right? So I think instilling fear to instill fear is not a good idea when life is tough enough. So, all right, there's Jason Sands shouting out the program. All right, you know what? Actually, let's make my screen bigger. All right, we got Trump speaking. Let's see here. Let's go to my bookmarks. Okay, so this is all right. So we've got the nuclear, reasoning for the drones. Okay, we've got UAP as a possible explanation, right? These sightings are UAP, right? Aliens, let's be real, non-human intelligence, mixed in maybe with some of our military trying to cover it up, that sort of thing, right? But this is an interesting take too, from Dr. Dan, who's been on the show a couple times. Let me put what he wrote, because it is interesting. He's saying New Jersey drone flap solved. 25 plus days of nightly drone activity in New Jersey with an average of 40 plus official reports every night. Reports on Thanksgiving, 0. What does it mean? Respect from Russia, China, or NHI, or a U.S. military pause? Official announcement expected before Christmas. And if you go through some of the comments here, you'll basically notice that, Dr. Dan is basically insinuating that, from his source, that here pretty shortly we'll find out exactly what's going on. That they're going to tell us, and it's not going to be, what you think. So I don't know, right? Something more prosaic. But again, is this just a mixture, like different answers? There is no one answer that fits all. I think that is kind of fair, to be honest with you. So I don't think there is anything solved, because there's probably a mixture of different things happening. But yeah, this is a great take from Dr. Dan. So here he puts, to protect my source, I'll let these facts speak for themselves. Spy balloons discovered, 3. Spy balloons shot down, 3. Drones observed, hundreds. Drones shot down, 0. He's saying this was a coordinated test, first of military readiness and response, and second of civilian reaction. I wanted them to be UFOs, but they are not. This obviously matches up with why the Pentagon and government briefings have appeared so strangely evasive and clueless. This information came from a senior government insider who stated, I cannot tell you details, but look at it this way, and took me through the same arguments in my post, right? So, what is happening, right? Is this a mixture of things? Is the government going to come out and tell us? I mean, you have Donald Trump saying, look, the government knows. And I've stated that in other videos before I went out of town, right? I showed that we just most recently in California arrested a Chinese national for flying a drone over Vandenberg Space Force military base, right? They tracked the drone, followed it back to the guy, or went and arrested him. I mean, we know how to track these things. We know what's going on. We have satellites that can literally see, the DNA of a sidewalk, zoom in on a lily. So the idea that we wouldn't know what's going on doesn't make sense. It definitely makes sense that we know what's going on, but can't figure out how to explain it. So does that bring in the non-human intelligence aspect? Maybe. Maybe a small part. I mean, all you need is one case, right, to be compelling and interesting about that. Would the military throw up this whole shebang to cover up something, right? A UFO crash or something along those lines? I mean, I guess that's possible. Am I saying that's what's happening? No, I'm not saying that's what's happening. The truth is, nobody knows. That is the truth. Nobody has the answers. I don't really trust any main narrative, if you will, right? I don't know if we'll ever know the truth. Even if they come out and tell us something, what does that mean? Right? I mean, they've already said they don't know what it is in a hearing. So then they're going to come out and be like, no, we do know. It sounds like they're stovepiping within the government. Probably some people within the government do know, but it's not making its way to Congress or people that are publicly, speaking, right? Public facing. I don't know. But the idea that our government would know just doesn't make sense to me. Look, I've got a video that Mick West made about the drones. I do want to watch that. Just, for context, right? All right. This is interesting. So Joe Rogan tweeted this out saying like this was the craziest video about the whole drone situation. To be honest, I haven't listened to it. So this is going to be my real reaction. We're going to watch this together. And let's figure out, why did Joe Rogan tweet this guy out? He's the CEO of a drone manufacturing company that has government contracts. Give interesting take on what's happening in New Jersey. Okay. Let's see what this guy has to say.
Hey everyone, my name is John Ferguson. I'm the CEO of Saxon Aerospace here in Wichita, Kansas. I'm not normally a TikTok kind of a guy. I like watching this stuff every once in a while. But I'm a manufacturer of unmanned aircraft, military grade unmanned aircraft, as you can see one of my systems here. There's all of these mysterious drones going on off the East Coast. And as a professional, as a subject matter expert, I wanted to give you all my opinion on what I think could be going on with these drones. I don't particularly believe that these have a nefarious intent. I could be wrong, but I want to give you the truth and what I believe. It's my own opinion, and I've not bounced this off of anybody. So, if you think it's bullshit, whatever, that's cool. I don't want to spread misinformation, as we know that there's a lot of that going around. But anyway, back in the 1980s, Ronald Reagan had dismantled the nuclear program, and there were, with Russia, there were countless nuclear missiles that were disarmed and disposed of. Well, there were over 80, I believe. There were over 80 nuclear warheads that were in Ukraine that came up missing. Okay. We don't know where they are. Maybe somebody does, but nobody really knows where these are. And I speak with some pretty high level government officials on this stuff, and it seems as though that is the case. So I spoke to a gentleman a few months ago who was trying to raise an alarm to the highest levels of our government, which they had their ears closed, about this one particular nuclear warhead that he physically put his hands on. He physically touched this warhead that was left over from Ukraine. And he knew that that thing was headed towards the United States. Okay. Um, that is a very serious deal. And everyone knows that the United States government, this administration, is pushing to get into a war with Russia. Uh, we all know that. We all feel it. We all see it. Okay.
Let me just say, we don't all know that. We don't all see that, and we don't all feel that. I'm not a big fan of people like speaking for everybody. We all see this. That shows insecurity in your own argument. But it sounds like this guy is going down the, nuclear route here that we've kind of, shared something. I don't really think that that's happening. But I guess let's listen to a little bit more of this guy.
Well, back up a few years. Do y'all remember when those drones were mysteriously flying across the Interstate 70 corridor from Colorado up into Nebraska, down here into Kansas, and out into Missouri? Well, it was believed that those drones were looking for radioactive material because there had been some material that come up missing here in the United States. And they felt like it was high probability that the nuclear or the radioactive material would be taken along the Interstate 70 corridor heading east or west or south. So from what we understand, they were out there trying to find this radioactive material. Now, drones, they have no reason to be in the air at night unless you're doing some type of ISR work, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, looking for bad guys or looking for a victim, a search and rescue victim, or law enforcement, or some type of military project, right? There's no reason for a drone to be flying at night, really, okay? Because they don't see shit. So, unless you have thermal optics, drones really don't see stuff. You need to do mapping during the day. If you're going to do farming stuff.
I mean, these are good points about the drones, and that's probably what I would take away from this guy. He's not a nuclear expert, and neither am I. Clearly, I'm probably going to get made fun of for just how I pronounce the word. But his assessment of the drones, that I'm listening to, because he owns a drone company. So these are really good points, right? That he's making about the drones themselves. And look, I'm not saying that other story, this Jesse Michaels called it the loose nuke, theory. I mean, with this happening and our own government saying we don't know what's going on, I get it. Different theories are going to pop up. Look into the validity of them and see what's going on. And at the end of the day, you can't rule it out because there's been no confirmation of what has happened. So therefore, every possibility is still open. Now, the probability of those possibilities is what's subjective, right? What's up there. And you have so many people coming out with their own inside sources saying, I got this, I know this, my source told me that, and they're all different stories, explanations. So what does that tell you? That people, the government, don't know SHIT, right? They don't know anything of what's going on, and they're just going to tell random people this stuff. I just don't buy any of that. So anyway, let's get back to this guy. Let's see what he says more about the drones.
Mostly do it during the day. The only reason why you would ever fly an aircraft an unmanned aircraft at night is if you're looking for something, whether it be a person or trying to smell gas. We have methane gas detection systems uh, that can detect gas leaks in pipelines. You really wouldn't use thermal optics for trying to find gas leaks, just simply because the only way you're actually going to find a gas leak with thermal optics is if the gas leak is aggressive enough that it has a difference in temperature, because thermal imaging, it creates a digital image based off of the temperature variance. So whatever is different in temperature, it creates an image. Usually gas leaks so slow that it goes quickly into ambient before you can even see it. So we have special sensors that can detect gas leaks. We also have special sensors that can detect radioactive material. So with this gentleman that I had spoken with, who was trying to raise the alarm to try to get somebody in the government to say, hey, we need to work together to go try to find this nuclear warhead, none of that ever happened. They knew that warhead was on its way to the United States. That's all that ever came of it. Nothing ever happened. This government did not do anything at all to help this gentleman raise the alarm and raise awareness that there is a very deadly weapon on its way to the United States. It's out
I mean, one quick point about that is, you know what? Hang on. Let me let him finish here.
there. Nobody knows where it's at now. It left Europe. Now it's gone. So my own guess, is that these drones are not nefarious in intent. If they are, they are, but I doubt it. But if they are drones, the only reason why they would be flying and flying that low.
Hang on. Let me make this point before he moves on to the next point. Look, to be fair to him, there is no way he would know if anything was done about this nuclear warhead that he was talking about. Just because they didn't help that guy doesn't mean that the government didn't handle that situation. You see, that's inferring so many different steps. And then he takes what he learned from that and then builds off of that. Does that make sense? You got to be careful with that. How can he confirm that? Did he verify with this one source? That's what I mean. And what's funny is he starts off by saying, I don't want to spread misinformation at the beginning of the video, and then proceeds to lay this out. But I will say it's just his opinion. Okay. And everybody's opinion is valid. But the stuff he's saying about the drones themselves is interesting.
Low is because they're trying to smell something on the ground. That's it. There's no other reason for a drone to be flying in the air other than to piss a bunch of people off at night. That's it. So my belief is they're trying to smell something on the ground, gas leaks, radioactive material, whatever. So, and do I think
Smell something on the ground? Okay, that's interesting. I mean, yeah, that could be a complete possibility, that our own military send up these drones to detect something, to search for something. What that something is, who knows? Is that a strong possibility? Yes. Does that account for every sighting and everything that's happened? No. So clearly, again, there has to be more than one answer.
that they're coming up out of the ocean? No, I don't think so. Drones that are multi-copter type drones, not the the fixed wing aircraft that look like regular airplanes, but the multi-copters, they only have so much battery life. They have hybrid versions that are gas powered with electric, but those can still only fly for a short period of time. There's no way in hell that any drone is going to go miles off the coast as a multicopter and fly into the interior of the United States and do a bunch of work and then turn around and fly back. It's just physics will not allow that to happen. So these drones, I believe, are launched from a location that nobody knows, But I do believe that they're flying low enough that they're just trying to sniff the ground and try to find something. So again, I hate to be a pessimist or a guy that thinks, directly to the negative. However, I know as a professional, I mean, we build professional stuff for the military. I believe that they're actually out there trying to smell something that's very important. So anyway,
Maybe that's the announcement they'll make, right? But it is interesting what he says about the drones. Again, all the different sightings, all the different stories you hear don't match up with just a regular quadcopter drone, right? Whether it be a hobbyist or even military grade, right? He's saying the battery life of these things. It is true that they mostly fly at night. I mean, pretty much all of the sightings are at night between a particular hour. It's very interesting for sure. There's no question about that. But without any confirmation of what's happening, it's best to just keep all options open and just be calm about this and sensible about what's happening. I can't imagine we won't get some sort of answer at some point. When will it just blow over? I mean, it's just too much. It just keeps happening. It literally just keeps happening, right? All these sightings. Now, let's get back to some of these sightings. Let's hear from Chuck Schumer, who commented about this. And this is a clip that James Fox shared, actually. All right, let's see here.
People are flying drones.
Got it. Sir, as the author of the UAP amendment in the 2024 National Defense Authorization
Yes.
Act, you, among anybody, should be calling these what they are. We don't know they're drones, correct? They are UAPs. Why?
We don't-
Why aren't they being called UAPs?
Because we don't know if there are UAPs. We don't know what they are. That's what we're trying to find
They're
out.
identified, of course.
Nobody knows what they are. We have to find out.
So,
Senator,
Yes.
are these U.S. military drones?
We don't believe we do not believe they are U.S. military drones, or the military would have told us that.
Why haven't precautions been taken sooner?
Hmm?
Why now? Why haven't precautions?
Well, all of a sudden, they're in the skies all over the place, and so we got to find answers. And then the legislation will provide much more authority as to where and when drones can fly. Right now, there is no authority to that because there are so many hobbyists and everybody else who flies drones. So you got to figure out how to do it.
Senator,
have you spoken with top government leaders about the possibilities involved with non-human intelligence?
Look, we have spoken with top government leaders about finding the answers to what these are. We don't know what they are. No more, sir. Let other people. Okay.
when will you have a definitive answer of what these drones or where they're coming from?
The sooner, the better. We've talked to the Homeland Security and the FBI and told them we need answers quickly.
No offense to Chuck Schumer, but by definition, these are UAP or UFOs. He literally just said, well, we're not going to call them UAP. We don't know what they are. That's literally what that means. Unidentified. They are quite literally UFOs. So, see, this is what I mean. Conflicting statements. It's like they're not military drones. Right? Then what the hell are they? They can't all be misidentifications, right? Even though that is happening a lot. It's just so confusing what is going on. And honestly, how
People are flying drones.
Got it. Sir,
how much is actually Chuck Schumer being honest here? If he knows something that's classified or something like he's, you know what I mean? He's just not going to reveal it. He's not even going to reveal that he even knows that. So I find that interesting. All right, let's keep going here. Hang on. Stay with me. All right, we'll get to mix video in a second, but this is something I wanted to talk about. So look, you see this? Let's bring this up. Mm-hmm. You know, I covered this in a video last week, a video that was being shared where, you know, this is the greatest footage that's out there of these drones. And it turned out it was an out of focus star. And let me repeat that. An out of focus star. Because you see, this effect is it's many things combined. You've got the type of camera that's being used, but it's also called atmospheric seeing, where the atmosphere itself sort of distorts what's happening. Then if it's out of focus, you get this blurry bokeh effect, right? You mix that with camera artifacts. It's nothing. It just makes it look like this plasma ball, but that's not what's happening. This is probably a planet or a star that is literally out of focus, and it's on the news being shared like crazy. And this is the kind of stuff that doesn't help. People putting up videos of literal planes and helicopters and being like, what is that? And it says like American Airlines on the side. You know, you're like, that's flight 712 headed to Cleveland, you know? So this isn't helping. Right, these style of videos.
This are happening. It seems everyone starts to look up, like my crew and I have been here in Mendham recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts who might be able to sort out what they're seeing in the skies. But I guarantee there are so many people looking up and making those recordings because this mystery is one that needs to be solved. For now, we're live here in Mendham Borough. Tony Yates, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Lee's saying he's wondered.
So, yeah, there you go. All right, well, whatever. It's local news. Right. Let's watch a little clip here from News Nation, because it's got an interesting interview in it. I think you're going to want to hear. Oh, real quick, before we get to this, I want to thank Ryan Graves for this tweet that he put out. Can everyone see this from Ryan Graves? I'm going to read it out. I have spoken with sources inside government who would be responsible for responding to potential nuclear threats within the United States. I have high confidence the drone issue is unrelated to any potential nuclear threat. Thank you. You know, we are going to get down to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base shut down due to unauthorized drone activity. Yeah, we're going to get to that story too. So hang on. Again, things are crazy for sure. I'm not discounting that. It's a mess. It's absolute a mess. And it's even hard for me, I have to be honest, to you know, sift through all of this. There was so much video, just so many things getting shared, and it's going all over the place. And it's hard to find the origin of things, stories, right? It's insanity. It's overwhelming data. All right, but let's play this News Nation clip, and then we're going to get into the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base event that happened. That base did get shut down due to some sort of aerial activity. Yes. So is that alarming? Absolutely. All right, let's get to this News Nation. Make sure okay. Here we go. Yeah.
The federal government now says that what is believed to be drones are actually manned aircrafts. Really? The Defense Department acknowledging there's been sightings of drones over 2 military installations in New Jersey. Now, Homeland officials, they're saying that federal authorities are taking action and deploying extra resources.
There's no question that people are seeing drones, and I want to assure the American public that we in the federal government have deployed additional resources, personnel, technology to assist the New Jersey State Police in addressing the drone sightings.
A lot of Americans are asking why, Mills, there's not a clear answer on these drones. They're fed up with the lack of transparency. So what more have you learned about what the secretary said on this issue?
Hey, Adrian. Well, Secretary Mayorkas once again reiterated that they know of no foreign involvement with these drones and they're not aware of any danger to the U.S. He says that the Department of Homeland Security is limited in their authority to disable these drones. He says that there are some agencies within the Department of Homeland Security and outside that department that can stop the drones, but Mayorkas says those authorities need expanding.
We want state and local authorities to also have the ability to counter drone activity under federal supervision. That is one important element that we have requested, and we've heard it echoed by the state and local officials themselves.
And you heard that right there. Mayorkas says that they have requested more tools because that's been something that's been requested by state and local officials. Government officials also say that many of these drone sightings, as you mentioned, Adrian, have been manned aircrafts and not drones.
Is there anything else that they're asking for?
Well, really, they just want answers. Who is flying these drones? Why are they being flown? And why is the government not giving them any answers? So after the drone sighting that shut down a New York airport on Friday night for about an hour, the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, took to X to say that the federal government needs to grant states the powers to deal with the drones directly. A federal drone detection system has been sent to New York, but Hochul says they need more support. She says Congress must pass a law that gives states the power to deal with drones directly themselves. Senator Chuck Schumer, sounding out today on X, says that Secretary Mayorkas should send special drone detection technology to New Jersey as well. He also says that he's working to pass a bill in the Senate that would give local law enforcement more tools for drone detection. President-elect Trump has chosen Florida Representative Mike Waltz as his next national security advisor, and he had this to say earlier.
We need to know who's behind it. But right now, I think law enforcement seems to be the Department of Homeland Security and the Defense Department are kind of all doing this and pointing at each other.
And Representative Jim Hines from Connecticut previously served as the ranking member of the House Intelligence Agency. He told Fox News Sunday that he can say with confidence that the drones are not related to Iran, China, or aliens. He also says that this is not the beginning of an attack on the American homeland. So, Adrian, will Congress make it a priority to give local and state law enforcement more authority when it comes to these drones? We're just going to have to wait and see.
All right, Mills Hayes, thank you so much. Thanks so much for.
All right. Well, again, I don't know what's happening, y'all, but it is definitely getting crazy. That is for sure. Look, I am going to be live streaming every day this week, y'all. So if you haven't hit the subscribe button, do that now. I'm trying to get to 40,000 before the end of the month. But because this is just so crazy right now, I've never done this before, but I'm going to do that this week. Every day this week. Today's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm going to live stream every day at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we're just going to cover as much of this as we can as it unfolds this week. All right. So we will make sure we cover everything because this story is honestly just getting more bonkers as the day goes by. So again, I'm going to play this clip here from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Again, it's a base in Ohio. Got shut down due to unauthorized drone activity in the area. You already heard of a airport getting shut down for an hour. When this situation starts to get disruptive, that's when you have to make, you got to do something. Right. And the American people need answers because the unknown is far worse than whatever truth this is. Right. Because people's imagination just runs wild. Then every possibility is still on the table. That's what becomes an issue. Right. It's just think of Jaws. Remember the movie Jaws? They don't show you the shark forever, but everything implied about it, your imagination creates more fear. Right. Than anything. That's essentially what's happening. But look, let's get to this clip here from the base of them talking about, what happened essentially.
Patterson Tower, Medflight 8, 1,900 feet, about 7 miles southwest of the field, like transition your Delta northeast bound.
Medflight 8 Patterson Tower, use extreme caution for heavy UAS movement on the base. Security forces is handling the situation. Suggest at or above 1,700 AGL.
That we will maintain 2,000 and on our transition for Medflight 8.
And I gotta keep the lights down so that security forces can see.
Roger that, no problem.
Position approved, sir.
Approved, Medflight 8.
Med Flight 8 Tower.
Ahead for Med Flight 8.
Hey, sir, you're still approved through our Class Delta. After you leave, Columbus is going to sterilize the Class Delta as of 0330 Zulu. Patterson Class Delta is closed after your transition.
I'm sorry about that. You got stepped on by other traffic. Can you say again?
Yes, sir. Your transition is still approved. However, Patterson Class Delta is sterilized as of 0330 Zulu for heavy unknown UAS activity. Security Forces is handling it, and Columbus is going to sterilize the airspace after you leave the Delta.
Roger that. No problem. Thank you.
All aircraft use extreme caution. Patterson Class Delta is now closed for heavy UAS activity.
Muted. I've been muted this whole time. Oh my God, guys. Yes, that right, Patterson, right? Like crazy, right? That they're shutting that down. I just, again, don't know what to make of this. There's just a lot happening, right? How worried do we need to be? Well, more worried than we should be, but less worried than we're being told to as well. Like, I don't know how to explain that. Like a balance. We need to be sensible about it. But look, clips like this, yeah, no, so, okay. Well, we can hear. Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, we're back, y'all. How long was I muted? Oh my God. Okay. Clips like this. This woman shares this video of these cars.
Pull this back up because I thought maybe it's a car party, right? There's a bunch of like those weird looking Tesla vehicles.
So like insinuating like these drones are causing these cars to all flash and all this stuff. You know what it is? It's a Tesla car park where that's their software updates. The Teslas are that's how they literally just a software update that happens regularly. But there's a lot of this, a lot of misidentification, a lot of people just posting stuff, anything abnormal, they're putting it up. But let's be real. Let's give people the benefit of the doubt there, because if we're not being told anything and we don't know what's going on, what do you expect people to do? Right? They want to help. They want to be a part of the solution, but kind of end up being part of the problem, right? By putting up videos of planes and this and that and all these different things, right? But there have been some interesting cases, right? You've got, again, Wright Patterson Air Force Base being shut down. Another New Jersey airport being shut down. Clearly, something is going on. You have senior leaders in government talking about it. Donald Trump is talking about it. Something is going on, right? Clearly. I mean, just clearly. But yes, these kind of videos just, they don't help. Right. And here's another one, right? You got a governor sharing a picture of a constellation, Orion. Right. So, then you got this. This guy shares a picture. It's got Grok in the bottom right. It's literally AI created. Right. Can't believe I caught this last night. Got swarmed with unmarked cop cars and they forced me to leave the area. Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. Right. 545,000 views. And to be honest, that community note wasn't on it right away. So everyone was believing that. It doesn't help. And that's just one of thousands of posts like that. That's what's not helping. But again, to be fair, our government's not helping either, because they're not giving us any answers. So in some way, I'm a little sympathetic to the average blue collar worker like myself, right? Who's just like, hey man, I don't know what's going on. I saw some. I'm posting it. I get it. But there are people purposefully knowing that something is not XYZ and posting it as, hey, this is something more, when really it's not. And they know the truth. So just be careful out there, y'all. All right. Look, there's way more to cover. There's so much going on. I will be live streaming every day this week at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time about this situation. Okay. So there'll definitely be more to cover. And I'm going to mix in some of the, UFO news too, y'all, that's out there, that's happening. Right. So tomorrow I'll make sure to prepare some of that along with whatever is happening with the drones. And we'll just stay updated with that. If you have any information or you feel that there's something I should cover about this, trying to think the best way. Best way would be to join our Discord and bring it up there, because that's what I'm going to be looking into. Right. I'm going to use the Discord as trying to get some help for some different stuff to cover. So it's free to join. There's a link in the description. Go join, jump in, help us. Again, I'm going to live stream all week. I'll try to get some guests on too to maybe discuss some of this and talk about it, and see if we can not necessarily figure out what's going on, but just try to understand all the information that's coming out and give you all the different angles. Right. And then you can make a more informed decision. Right. But at the end of the day, the conclusion is we don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody has answers. I don't really trust people's inside sources. As great as a lot of these people are, for instance, Dr. Dan, love that guy. Great guy. But he has an inside source. I don't really trust those kind of sources. I just don't. Because you really have no way to know if they're telling you the truth. You may think they are. They may be your friend for 20 years. But at the end of the day, government, national security, people aren't going to risk their pensions. And there's just a lot there. So I'm just real cautious of all that. But at the same time, what I did appreciate what for instance, someone like Dr. Dan who was doing, also not trying to fear monger, right? Hey guys, they're searching for a nuke. That's what's happening. No, you don't know. Nobody knows. Let's all calm down. Let's be sensible here. But let's figure it out. Could there be some, actual non-human activity happening? Absolutely. I'm not saying that's off the table, because at the end of the day, we don't know. And anyone trying to tell you that they do have the answer, they don't. I promise you. All right, let's get to some super chats, y'all. Super chats are open. Feel free to pop them in, and we'll go with that. If not, we'll go over some questions here from the chat. Mr. Nightman, thank you so much, brother. You rock. Andre Wright says, I can't find the program online, not available. Yeah, there's been some issues with that. Finding James Fox's documentary. I was able to watch it and purchase it on Apple TV. I shared the link in our Discord. That's working for some people. I shared it on my Twitter too. So if you want to go to that, that seems to be working for some people. But yeah, there's a lot of people having issues trying to get this movie. It's available on Amazon and Apple for sure. There were supposed to be some other platforms, but I don't know. So I don't know what's happening there. Some people are having issues in different countries. So just keep trying, and hopefully that will get worked out. And you know what? Don't let me forget. I will go over my review of the program and some news that I have here in a moment. Don't let me forget. Okay. Eki McPhee says, are my drones up so everyone thinks it's me? Yeah, put my drones up maybe is what you mean. I'm not sure what you mean there, Eki. Number 3, the Far Sight remote viewing channel has a theory that the drones are good ETs here to kick out the bad ETs in government. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Well, they're going to need more than what they brought, because we got a lot of bad people in government, right? Bad ETs in government. That's interesting. Okay. Whatever it is, the idea of secrecy went out the window. And that's interesting, because they weren't very secretive about it, in the sense that everyone knows what's going on and can see something happen, So clearly, being stealthed was not an option. And that's interesting. I find it hard to believe that NHI would do that, but who knows? I don't know. Welcome, Fishy61, to becoming a YouTube member. You rock. You know what? There's one video I forgot to play, and I'm going to play that right now. For context, y'all. Okay, I think it's important. This is a video that Mick West made about the drones. I actually haven't watched it yet. So let's watch it together. See what he has to say.
Sometimes at night, sometimes they fly over military bases, and sometimes people get arrested for doing that. There are small drones and big drones. But there's no good evidence that any of the recent spate of large drone sightings in New Jersey are actually large drones. With practice, you can identify lots of things in the sky. Sometimes you use the shape of the object or its lighting configuration. Sometimes you use a site like Flight Radar 24 or ADS-B Exchange to see what aircraft are in that location or in that direction. Sometimes you look at what stars and planets are in the sky, and sometimes you look up satellites. Most of these need the date, time, location, and the direction the camera is looking in. Date, time, and location are the most important, and I often refer to these as the details, DTLs. In every single case where we have the details, and in many cases where we do not, we managed to identify what was being looked at. In every case, it wasn't a large drone. This triangle drone was a C-130. This video of 8 circling drones was a bunch of planes circling in a holding pattern. This drone was a helicopter. This video of a mystery drone shot by a professional photographer was probably Venus out of focus. Those reports from pilots to air traffic control over Oregon were Starlink satellites. New Jersey Senator Andy Kim saw a lot of drones, but he was looking at planes, something he later discovered. Former Governor Larry Hogan saw drones, but he was looking at stars and planes. These stationary drones over the Capitol were just normal incoming air traffic far away, so seeming not to move much, but they did move. A reporter claimed to see drones, but he shows video of what were obviously planes. I could go on, but the point is made. Every case where there's enough information, and especially with the details, the date, the time, and the location, what we see are not drones. If that reporter gave the details, we could see what aircraft he was looking at. The government is slow, and the military is both slow and cautious, but they've all started to come around, with the DHS and the FBI saying on December the 12th, "We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or public safety threat or have a foreign nexus. Upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft operating lawfully. There are no reported or confirmed drone sightings in any restricted airspace." Is it just mass hysteria, social contagion, a collective delusion? Mostly yes. Remember, there's zero evidence of any large drones in New Jersey, and dozens of confirmed misidentifications. Drones are a real thing, and they represent real security concerns. China is probably using them to spy on us. But what we are seeing here is really just a really large flap, just with drones instead of UFOs. Eventually, as no drones are found, it will fade from the public consciousness, but many die-hard believers, especially in the UFO community, will never let it go. But there's nothing here. There's no good evidence. And if you think you've got it, post your video with the details. Post the exact date, time, location, and the direction you're facing, and we'll check to see if it's a plane, a planet, or a satellite. Maybe we'll find a drone. But right now, it seems to be all misidentification. These calls for action, the calls for legislation, the calls to shoot down lights in the sky, which are probably passenger planes, and the wild theories about secret drones hunting nuclear weapons, all that has no basis in reality.
Well, look, a little pushback against Mick West here.
Drones are real.
Okay, Mick. Who I respect a lot, to be honest with you. I'm not on the train of hating Mick, just to hate Mick. Me personally, I respect what he does. But I would disagree a little bit and just say that we don't have the answers for everything. So, but I do agree with them that there are a ton of misidentifications. But again, like I said previously, anyone trying to say they have all the answers, they just don't. Not in this situation. So, we'll wait and see, y'all. Again, I'll live stream every day this week, and we'll get to the bottom of this. See what we can find out. And we'll just cover it all week and have everything that pops up. All right, let's get to some more super chats here. Fanthamos will be a Broadway musical about drones. Imagine. That's hilarious. Yeah. Aki McPhee says, I had to do one more super chat, Patrick. What I meant is if I see UAP, why not put my drones up so every foreign adversary thinks the UAP is me? Oh, I see. Sure. And maybe that's what's happening, right? That's what people are saying. So is that a possibility? Sure. Right? There are UAP sightings, but then they pop up drones. So people are like, oh, it's the drones, not the UAP. I mean, that would be a good way to hide it. Daniel, everyone cuddle the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. There we go. Daniel, let's go, baby. Boom. Love it. Great message. Matt says, I have video from Monday in 11/11 in Lawrence, New Jersey. Monday 11/11. Okay, Matt. Well, either post it online or go to our Discord. You can post it there. We'll take a look. And any information you have about it would be great. All right, let's get to some questions. And or comments, y'all. Miss Burker says, hey there, Theories of Everything with Kurt Jaimongol. Great to see you, Kurt. Oh, Kurt came to the chat. What's up, Kurt? If y'all haven't already, please check out Theories of Everything, y'all. I think everyone knows what a legend Kurt is here in the community for sure. Be curious what Kurt has to say about it, to be honest with you. Haven't seen his take on it. I need to look that up. This is one of those things where I would love to hear a lot of people's take on it, right? A lot of different people's take on exactly what they think is happening. Again, I just feel like a lot of things are happening. It's just a lot of answers. It's just not one catch-all here to figure out. Up in Smoke says, you didn't ask where we are from. You know what? You're right, Up in Smoke. It's been a while since I've done that. So let's do that. Vetted tradition here. Tell me in the chat where you guys are watching from, where you're streaming from. I'm in Texas, y'all. USA. Hit me with it. I'm going to shout it out. Roll call, baby. Tell me where you're watching from. ATX, let's go, baby. What we got? Myerside, UK, WA, Texas, love it. Sydney, Australia, Chicago, Sweden, New Jersey. There we go, baby. Detroit, Rock City, yeah. Albany, love it. Fort Lauderdale, Illinois, Wurzburg, Germany, the Netherlands, Chattanooga, Tennessee, y'all. Amsterdam, Birmingham, Alabama. Let's go. UK, Portland, Virginia, Ohio. Aguadilla, Puerto Rico, Corsicana, Southern Delaware, Australia again, France, let's go. Cardiff, Wales, Norway, Washington, Cromwell, Connecticut, y'all, Hartford, Dayton, Ohio, Montreal, south of England. France again, I love it, y'all. This is great. Florida, look at that. See, we got a international global audience, people. Los Cabos, Mexico, West Wales, Montreal, Minnesota, Guadalajara, vámonos. Love it, y'all. Austria, oh my God, Brazil. They're just everywhere, y'all. Everywhere. Y'all are awesome. I mean that. Indiana, beautiful, y'all. Hillsborough, New Jersey, love it. Kansas City. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give y'all my review of the program. Okay, so this is James Fox's new documentary that's coming out. I see you guys, Norway, Kansas City, Seattle. Let's go. Bahamas. Watched it last night. It's like just under 2 hours. Stay through to the credits all the way to the end because there's little clips throughout. There is one new whistleblower that's presented that, you know, is in there. There's one whistleblower that many have seen. Jason Sands is in there. It's featured. There's a couple people that haven't really come out who talk. I wouldn't necessarily call them whistleblowers, but they definitely provide context and information. And the Calvine photo part of the documentary was interesting. It basically just covers what has happened the last couple years leading up to now, right? But there's nothing about like Immaculate Constellation, the new hearings, right? Any of this drone stuff. No, clearly, none of that is in there. But I found it interesting, right? There's definitely a lot left to be desired from watching it. But of course, it's a James Fox documentary, and it's always so well put together. The narration, the music. James did a great job. I can't imagine the difficulty of putting something together like that, to be honest with you. Sourcing everything, the production, there's just a lot there. And of course, all the stuff that happened behind the scenes with him to just get that movie out. So I highly recommend people go watch it and support the film, right? And I'm interested to see what sort of falls from the tree from that film, right? And apparently there's more information to come out apart from the film of people that have to do with the film and whatever. And James is helping bring out more information. So that's more than what's in the film. So we'll see. And one thing I want to say is I spoke with Jason Sands through Twitter messages today. And he's been so kind and so generous and so nice, to be honest with you guys, with his time. So I really, really appreciate him and respect him for that. And I'm going to try to get him on Vetted so we can have a cool, fun conversation about the documentary and his story. You know, it's been a little history with Vetted with Jason, and I would love to, you know, button that up by giving him a chance to really just speak his mind from his own words. And, you know, I feel like I owe him that respect, to be honest with you. So hopefully we can make that work soon. And I will keep you guys, you know, updated with that. So, yeah, there you go. The program, and hopefully the links and everything gets worked out, y'all. All right. We got another Number Free gifted one Vetted membership. Thank you so much, Number Free. Appreciate you. That helps out a lot. Thank you so much. All right, let me see if I can. Oh, Gem Girl says so. It's out already. Yes, Gem Girl, it is out. It came out today, Monday, December 16th. Available on Apple TV and Amazon. And again, some people are having issues with the links, but you know, search for it on there. You should be able to find it. It's called The Program. I would put in The Program UFOs on Google because The Program is a James Caan football movie from the 90s as well. Great film, but has nothing to do with UFOs. So, yeah. Check out The Program. And again, there is more information that came out while I was gone, while I was out on vacation, about David Grush, Eric Davis, some stuff I do want to get into. Just more things happening. And of course, with James Fox's documentary, right? More updates on the Calvine photo. That whole story is interesting. Jason Sands, of course. And again, these other people that are in the documentary, right? All right, Matt says, posted my videos from 11/11 on your Discord. Sounds good, Matt. We'll take a look today, brother. You rock. I mean, that's how we're going to get to it, y'all. Right? Sticking together, being sensible, asking questions, trying to figure out what's happening. Don't be afraid to ask questions. There's no stupid questions. I don't believe in that. We'll all learn together on this. I just recommend we stay reasonable and sensible through all of this, of what we're looking for. TCPE says, I'm watching Vetted and Clint from Night Shift at the same time. Let's go, y'all. Excellent. Yeah, shout out to Clint from Night Shift. If you haven't already, please go subscribe to Clint's channel. It's called Night Shift. Absolutely amazing. I should try to get Clint on this week, and maybe he'll want to join a Vetted live stream. Oh, Heiser, good point. I heard James Fox is going to have a press conference. Was up to 12 witnesses. 5 have confirmed. Bam. Friday the 20th, I believe, right, Heiser? This Friday, if I remember that correctly, which is awesome. So see, there's going to be more stuff. So again, I'm going to live stream every day this week at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is way different than what I normally do, right? But this is a special week. There's a lot going on, and I want to make sure we cover everything. Marcus is saying, Marcus, what happened with Grush? We'll get into it tomorrow, I promise. If you want the TLDR, ask Jessica. Where, Heiser? It's maybe on Reddit, Jessica. I'll get more of the details and we'll post about it tomorrow. Mr. Diamond says, remember to always check your level of sapocentrism. Absolutely. Clint's cool, but Patrick is my go-to. Shots fired, Clint. No, I'm just kidding. Love it. Yeah, and look, Greer's got some stuff out exactly by January 2025. There's stuff. I mean, there's honestly, I'm telling y'all, there's so much happening right now. I just making one video about one thing a day isn't going to keep y'all informed this week. And I feel like I just have a duty to keep y'all informed. Not tell y'all what to think or what to do, but just keep y'all informed with all the information. You do with it what you want. But that's why I'm going to live stream every day this week, so we can there's just too much to cover. Today was all about the drones, but throughout the week, I'm going to mix in some of the other stuff that's happening, of course, in the UFO community. So, Jim Girl said, Patrick, can you ask the aliens to stop playing games with these drones already? Agreed. Agreed, Jim Girl. Agree. All right, y'all. Okay. I'm going to take one last little comment here from Triton. Oh, Triton, I got you, brother. Boom. Well, Jen, I like your comment too, Jen. Thank you. I love you, man. You don't make declarations, just sharing information. Sorry. No, thank you, Jen. And I appreciate that. Yes, I don't have sources, witnesses. I'm just covering what's going on. Decide for yourself. Think for yourself. That's how this works. I appreciate you, Jen. Thank you so much. Triton says, did Fox's whistleblower make a statement today? So that's another thing real quick. That's what we'll end on here. Yes. So one of the whistleblowers that is in James Fox's documentary, I believe that this is in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling anything, but there's a gentleman that military X, and he's wearing like a uniform, and you can't hear his voice. You don't know who he is. You know what I mean? I believe that person is releasing a statement today at some point. So again, we'll make sure to cover all of that this week. Definitely tomorrow, if that statement comes out, we'll have more information on all of that. Okay. So, but like we do every day, and we're going to do that every day this week. Make sure if you want to continue this conversation after the live stream today, join our Discord. Okay. Link in the description. It's free to join. We're going to jump into our open mic and just talk. You can jump on the mic too and tell us your thoughts, your opinions, just talk with us. We just converse and just hang out. We do that every day after the videos, right? So this week especially, I think they're going to be very important considering what's happening. So if you want to be a part of the conversation or just listen in, whatever you want, it's totally cool. It's up to you. Feel free to jump in the Discord and hang with us. So, all right, guys, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Again, live streaming every day, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Let's go, y'all. All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Remember, betters, every day's a gift. Peace.